Hello everyone, this is your boy AZNZC. On today's video, I am gonna talk about one of the questions that I get all the time on stream and in general as a free-to-play player. Is what Nat5 should I focus on towards building to mid-game and to late game? So on the screen here, these are all the Nat5s we currently have available. I am gonna go over all the ones that I think are gonna be viable to build towards mid game or to get to 6 star slowly in the next few months. So these are my personal opinions. You guys should take it as that. So let's start off with Buckshot. So Buckshot, I think, is a really amazing unit. Awaken, this thing have probably one of the highest, if not the highest, attack in this game, being a Nat5, and he is as a normal Nat5. He got a great leader skill. He got a really quick cooldown, 6-second cooldown, 5 mana, amazing one-shot ability. So yeah, and it give you a attack accuracy down on an enemy. No, if an enemy have an accuracy down, there is 30% chance to grant all ally with crit damage up. So that is an extra bonus. And then all the other skills are, this other skill is pretty good, 8-second cooldown, but a bit mana intensive. So but it can also cause damage 2 more times. So there's some RNG in that, but that's good. And then there's also this passive, which is the 40% to shoot an orb of energy toward all enemy at the start of the round. So at the end, this is a really good unit building as a single target unit or as a general nuker with great cooldown. So next we have Chain Reaction. I think he have the fastest cooldown in the game with his skill 3, Thunder Slam. I did see Magaric build this unit. The damage does seem underwhelming, but later on with the proper ruins, it will do amazing. And he also have a really good leader skill. Thunder Slam, great opener, cooldown 3 seconds, 5 mana. They also have a chance to go crit rate down for 1 turn. And then his second skill, it's an 8-second cooldown, very low mana efficiency, and it ignore defense. So I think that's also great. His skill 1 is also pretty good, very mana efficient. Cooldown is mediocre in the mid tier, 10-second to 20-second cooldown range. So pretty good kit and great cooldown. And like always, a good unit to the first. These are all good unit to build. Next is Nightmare. Nightmare, he have a really cool short cooldown on skill 1, 6-second. Probably one of the fastest skill 1s that comes off cooldown. He also have an A of E armor break, also amazing. And then his second skill is also really good as 1 mana, 8-second cooldown. So Nightmare's freaking amazing. And Nightmare could be built DPS also. So these, you could just delete enemy before they even get a turn. So, or you could build it as a support using skill 3. And the passive, freaking amazing. Gain evasion up for 2 turns when having attack up with 2 turns or more. So, and then of course the leader skill, most busted leader skill in this game. So we won't need to go over that, right? Spitfire, cooldowns are super long. For skill 1, it does have a 4-turn endurance knockdown, but it's 2 mana. Great, very efficient. Speed Demon, 1 mana, 20-second cooldown. It's a bit long, but it's still a bomb skill, and it does decent damage, and like I said, 1 mana. Charge skill is good only for PvE most of the time, but for Spitfire, you mainly want using it for this ability right here. 80 chance to grant attack up for all ally for 2 turns at the start of the round. So can't get better than that. And then also a leader skill. Amazing. So next we have Starcast, another OP unit with 6-second cooldown that have ignore defense up to 50%. As you guys started to notice that the trend of all the monsters I picked tend to have amazing cooldowns or fast cooldowns, because the key in this game is all about cooldowns. So just keep that in mind. And skill 2, 5-second cooldown. That is probably one of the third fastest, I think. I think Chain Reaction had 3 seconds. There's another unit that have, I think Wildstorm have a 4-second cooldown. So 5-second cooldown is probably the third fastest. And the channeling 9 seconds. So still an AoE skill that's amazing. So this is cooldowns of 9 seconds. So still great, you know, even though it's one enemy. A bit mana intensive, but I think your bread and butter is right here. 6-second cooldown, 5 mana. If the enemies still survive in PvP, I think Starcast does his job. And he get a great passive, and also amazing leader skill. Increased crit rate of all allies by 15%. Borderline pretty OP with this leader skill, in my opinion. Next, we have our favorite, Stormblade. Whoever, if you re-rolled to start off with Stormblade, I think even in mid-game to late game, he's still going to be great. His cooldowns aren't the best at 8-second and 9-second, but overall his kit is very mana efficient, being in the 4 mana range. But he also have this passive, which is freaking amazing. Decrease skill cooldown by 1 second when landing a critical hit, and land a bonus attack on the enemy with lowest HP. And he also get an amazing evasion skill of 10%. So anytime you have a unit that have a leader skill, I think just gives that unit extra bonus points for you to work on. Next we have Tri-Tip. Tri-Tip is considered to be a tank bruiser. I think late game, tank bruisers stats is going to carry you. Look at, you see this defense, 1664. Probably the highest defense in this game. And HP is super high at 5,000. But his bread and butter is right here. Ignore defense by 30%. And the damage scale proportionate to defense. So later on, when you could run him as bruiser, you could increase his crit rate by a lot. And critting using this ignore defense portion, Wham Shell can do like 5,000 to 10,000 already without ignoring defense. And this guy have way better base stats than Wham Shell, so he's gonna be hitting like a truck late game. And he also have very mana efficient skill 1, and he also have a pretty good defense down for 4 turns for skill 3. I think this works amazing on a boss. And he also have a default passive with a 50% chance to cast crit rate down on enemy for 2 turns. This is pretty good in arena and PvP, and like always, all good units need to have a good leader skill. He grant an ally attack up for 1 turn when the ally is under attack and has 60% HP or lower, so still something. Next we have Wildstorm. Wildstorm, it's a great free-to-play unit. You get him from the arena shop. He had one of the fastest cooldown in this game also. Electric Storm, 4 seconds. And it does electric shock for knockdowns. So amazing skill. He also have other skills that are fairly low cooldown, 6 seconds and 5 seconds. A bit mana intensive, but they do wonder as a DPS unit. And he have a really good passive where you transform and you gain evasion up, and his attack rate also goes up. Give him like a steroid. But one of his most important thing is his leader skill, HP by 20%. That's freaking amazing for RTA and etc. down the road. Can't say all the great things about him. So this is one of the projects that I'm trying to work on. Next we have Astro Blast. If you're in High Arena, you will see the prevalence of him. Let's talk about his most broken skill. Skill 3. 6 second cooldown, 5 mana. There's a lot of RNG. And it deals 4 bonus attacks at random. So yeah, freaking amazing. This Star Salt, it's also really good, where he kicks the enemy and then you gain accuracy up for 3 turns. Very mana efficient, even though the cooldown is long, but after you're using Asteroid build, this is a good follow-up skill. But the most important is his passive, gain reflecting damage affecting effects for 3 turns when under attack up and using a skill. So this is really good in conjunction with a Spitfire lead, where a Spitfire will give you an attack up instantaneously. And the most important, what makes him really super imbalanced, is because of this right here. When he's max, there's an 80% chance to decrease skill cooldown time by 5 seconds when allies attack dark enemy opponents. So if you're attacking like Nightmare or any kind of dark unit in general, you're gonna get free cooldowns basically. And 5 second cooldown is borderline broken, if not broken already. So yeah. So what we have next is Aurora. So her skill, double sword attack. This is similar to kind of Elf, is one of Elf's attack where you hit twice. But this also decrease buff count by 2. Yeah. And then also decrease buff count by 2 of the enemies with the highest defense. Yeah. Borderline broken. If not broken, I think this skill is absolutely ridiculous. I think. So, and I don't know the scaling of this, but she is, yeah. And then all her other skill is pretty mana efficient. You have a self-target ability, and then there is also a sword technique. So, which also grant crit rate up to all allies. And then like always passive. All these units have 80% chance to gain accuracy up when attacking an enemy, so always good. And then always amazing leader skill, increase block rate by 15%. And last but not least, we have Mr. Kingpin. Tankiest unit in this game. One of the 1600 defense, almost 5900 HP. And he have really good, what's called, skills. First skill, grant focus or aggro for 3 turns, and grant a shield for 3 turns if you land a crit. His crit rate is pretty low with the 6%. So if you're gonna build him a crit crit rate tank bruiser, Kingpin might be a good option because you also get a shield if you're not gonna get mainly just built for HP. And next he have Frost Breath. This skill is freaking amazing because you do damage equivalent to defense rate, and you cast a freeze and accuracy down. The freeze is really OP. Any secondary cooldown abilities, you're gonna stall them extra with the freeze effect. And the accuracy down is really amazing when DPS are gonna glance. So this is one of the best ability I think in this game. And then he also have a grant strength to all ally for 2 turns with the power of ice. Also cast attack down on all enemy. I think this is also pretty good because of the attack down. This really stops all the YOLO DPS team in arena. And he also gained defense up for 1 turn when HP is 40% or lower. And like always, free leader skill. You notice the trend that a lot of these units are really good at fast cooldown, great passive, and great leader skills. I think these are the trends for Nat5s, and that's why these units that I mentioned are, how you say it, a step above those other Nat5s, and these all scale pretty well from just +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. Even if it's not awakened, they will help you through mid game, and once you max them or scale them up, they will be integral for your team towards the end game. I know this is a long video. Hopefully it was helpful. That because as a free-to-play player, one of these units that you will focus on will be very, very important for the success of your progression late game. So if this was helpful, give a thumbs like or comment below or subscribe. Look forward to see you guys in the next video.